In this session, now I'm going to discuss how we can launch browser using Selenium WebDriver. So in this session, first we are going to write first Selenium script. So let's try to understand how we can write. Okay, so this is my project, Selenium project. Under that we have src main Java. So if you want to create any test class, so we need to place all the test classes under src test Java folder. So now we create new package under this folder first of all. So I'm going to the new, I'm going to the create new package. I give the package name like testing package. I'm going to create testing package. So under src test Java, I have created one package with the name testing package. Now under that testing package, let's we create first class, test class. I give the class name like demo browser, browser testing, browser tester, browser tester. Let's finish it. Now in this test class, I'm going to write first test case, just like launch browser, browser tester, test, launch browser test. Now this is a normal Java method, but if you want to make this method as a test case method, then testng will provide one annotation at the rate test annotation. So you can annotate your method using at the rate test annotation. Once you have annotated this method using at the rate test annotation, then your method become as a test case method. So here we are using testng to write a test cases. So how we can mark our method as a test case method? We can mark our method as a test case method just by annotating at the rate test annotation. You can define a method just by annotating at the rate test annotation. Now under this test case method, now we are writing the logic. So you can check here, we have required WebDriver, Selenium WebDriver. So you can check it. This is a WebDriver. So what is a WebDriver? Using WebDriver, it is a remote control interface by which we can control the user agent. User agent means browser. So this is a remote control interface by which we can control the browser. If you open the documentations, and now you can check here, this is a interface. So Selenium provide one interface, WebDriver interface, by which we can control the browser. If you want to control the browser automated, then we can control browser using WebDriver. So this is the interface. Now we have different implementation class for that interface. Like if you are using Edge browser, then we have required Edge driver. If you are using Firefox, then we have Firefox driver. So Selenium WebDriver is an interface. You can see this is an interface. This is an interface. WebDriver is interface. WebDriver is an interface. This is interface. Now there are several implementation classes is available. Like if you're using Firefox, so we have Firefox. If you're using Chrome, so we have Chrome driver. And if you're using Edge, then we have Edge driver. So you can check it. If you're using Firefox, so we have Firefox driver. We have Firefox driver. And if you're using Chrome driver, so then we have Chrome driver. So Chrome driver is the implementation class of WebDriver interface if you want to launch Chrome driver, Chrome browser. Similar, if you want to launch Edge browser, then Edge driver is the implementation class of a WebDriver. So which type browser you want to launch, that implementation class object you can create to control a browser. Let's now suppose here we want to launch Edge browser. So here we have already added in one dependency to manage a driver for your browser. Which browser you want to launch? For that browser, we need to manage one driver. So you can say each browser has its own driver. Each browser has its own driver. So you can check this is a web driver. Here we have added one dependency, web driver manager dependency. Using that dependency, we can manage driver for a browser. which browser you want to launch. For that browser, you can manage a WebDriver using WebDriver manager dependencies. So go to your tester class, and in this tester class, you can use the class like driver manager. You can check it. WebDriver manager. Now, suppose I want to launch Edge browser. So we need to manage driver for Edge browser. So here on WebDriver manager, you need to call Edge driver method. Now this method, and then you can call the setup method. Now it will set up one driver for Edge browser. So it will set up Edge driver for a Edge browser. Then you can create the instance for WebDriver, because using WebDriver you can control the browser. So WebDriver equal to which WebDriver? Here actually we need to launch Edge driver. So we need to create Edge driver object. Here we want to launch Edge browser. So we need to create a Edge driver object. So let's here we create the Edge driver. So now just creating, yes, no, we can say creating Edge driver instance, Edge driver instance. Once you create the Edge driver instance, after that, now using that WebDriver, we can control the browser. After launching the browser, now we want to load a web page into the current browser window. So if you want to load any web page on the current browser window, so in WebDriver, we have several methods. You can check it. WebDriver contains several methods. There are several methods. We will discuss one by one. So what's the requirement? First of all, my requirement, I want to load a new web page in the current browser window. So using WebDriver, we are controlling that browser. Which browser we are controlling? Edge browser. So on that Edge browser, we want to load any web page. So on WebDriver, you can call one method get method. Using get method, we can load a new web page in the current browser window. We can load a new web page in the current browser window. So once you launch a browser, after launching the browser, if you want to load a new web page in the current browser window, then you can use get method of WebDriver. So get method of WebDriver is helps to launch a new web page, we can say, in the current browser window. So which web page suppose we want to launch? Suppose I want to launch google.com support. So here we can copy google.com URL and just copy this URL, go to your Eclipse ID, and now we can pass that. We can pass that URL. Okay, after that, what we want to do? Now we want to close the browser. Close the browser. So now we close the browser. So WebDriver, on WebDriver, we can call the close method. We can call the close method. So first step, what we have did? First step, we need to create a WebDriver for your browser. Each browser has its own WebDriver. Which browser you want to control? So here we want to control Edge driver. So we need to create an instance for Edge driver. And after creating the instance of Edge driver, then we need to load a new web page in the current browser window. If you want to load a new web page in the current browser window on a WebDriver, you need to call the get method. Using get method, we can load a new web page in the current browser window. Once page is loaded, then we want to close the browser. You can close the browser. Let's save it. And now if you want to run this program, so if you want to run this test class, right click on this test class, there is option run as, and here there is option test ng test. So now we are running on test ng test platform. So now run this and check the output. Now browser is launching. Now you can check here. Yeah, browser is launching. Now in this page, you can check here. Now which google.com is loaded. Okay, let's now we comment this button, comment this line. Again, run this test case and check here. We are not closing the browser. Just check. Once you launch a browser, now you can check here, it automated launch the browser and load a which page, google.com. And one more important point, here you can read this line, what is showing? Your edge browser is being controlled by automated test software. It means this browser is controlled by your automated test software. So now browser is automatic launch and we are loading our google.com page in this browser. Let's now we close this. Okay, so this is a way we can launch a browser. Now let's uncomment this line. Okay, this is a first test case we have written, and in this test case we have seen how we can launch a browser. Okay, let's now we understand second case. Let's we create new test class, browser tester 2. Let's we have created next class. Okay, in this class, what I'm going to do, guys, same. First, we launch the WebDriver, then we are loading the google.com page. And once page is loaded, now we want to retrieve the title of the current page. If you want to retrieve the current title, yes, no, title of the current browser window, yes, no. So on a WebDriver, you can check here. On WebDriver, we have one method, get title method. So get title method, what written, guys? It return the title of the current page. If you want to retrieve the title of the current page, then on WebDriver, you can call which method? Get title method. So get title method used to get the title of the current page. So this is the actual title. Suppose actual, I'm writing actual title, actual title. Now, suppose what your expectation. So here we declare one variable that is a expected title in which we have declared the expected title value. Expected title. Suppose I'm expecting Google. Google I'm expecting. This is your actual title value and this is your expected title value. Now we want to match actual title and expected title value. If both are matching, then we can say our test case is passed. So in TestNG, if you want to match expected outcome value with actual outcomes, then TestNG will provide assert classes. So assert is nothing, is a classes. That classes you can check assert that are available org.testng. Actually, assert classes available. This is a class which provided several static methods which helps to check your expected and actual outcome value. If your expected and actual outcome values match, then test case will consider as a pass, otherwise test case will consider as a fail. So here we want to compare actual and expected title value. So in assert class, we have one static method assert equals. You can check here. In this assert equals method, it will take actual value. What is your actual value? Actual title value here we passing. Second parameter, it will take expected value. If actual value is matched with expected value, then it will pass your test case. Otherwise, it will fail your test case. Let's run it. If you run it, run as, click on the run as option. And now here you can check here test ng test. Now we are checking our expected and actual title value. Now browser is launching. Now you can check here. Google.com page is loaded. And now you can check here in the TestNG platform, your test case is passed. Why you have written one test case, now one test case is passed. Because here actual title and expected title value is match. If you want to console actual title value also, you can console the value and you can check what exactly you're getting. So actual title plus actual title. Now run as TestNG test. Now check once again. Now browser is launching. Now you can check here. Google.com page is loaded. Go to the console and in the console you can check what is the actual value. What is the actual title? Actual title is a Google. Now we create one more class, browser tester 3. We create one more tester class. Okay, now we understand more points. In WebDriver, there is several methods. Using get method, we can load a new web page in the current browser window. Using get title method, we can get the title of the current web page of WebDriver. In WebDriver, there are several methods is available. Let's in the WebDriver, we have one method that is you can check here manage dot navigate. You can sorry WebDriver dot you can check WebDriver dot navigate method. Okay, what is the use of navigate method? Now you can read this here. Navigate method allow to driver to access browser history and to navigate to a given URL. Suppose once browser is launched and now it will load which web page? It will load google.com. Once page is loaded from google.com, suppose I want to navigate to different web page. From google.com web page, I want to navigate to different web page. So how we can navigate? So if you want to perform navigation activity, so on WebDriver, you can check it. We have one navigate method which return the navigation object. What is the return type of this method? You can check here. It is written a navigation. So navigation command in Selenium WebDriver perform operation that invoke navigating through web page and controlling browser behavior. Actually, this command provide an efficient way to manage a browser history and perform action like going back and forward between the page and refreshing the current web page. So if you want to perform navigation, it means you want to navigate from one page to another page. Yeah, you want to navigate backward. Yeah, you want to navigate forward. Yeah, you want to refresh the current web page. Such type navigation functionality if you want to perform. So on WebDriver, you can call navigate method, which return one navigation object, and using navigation object, we can perform that functionality just like we can navigate from current web page to other web page. Yeah, we can navigate back. Yeah, we can navigate forward. Yeah, we can refresh the web page. So once you call the navigate, it will return one navigation object on that you can check here. If you want to move to the another page, there is a method to method. You can use the to method. So you can check a to method. What does it load a new web page in the current browser window? It means from current browser window, if you want to load a new web page, so this navigation on navigation object, you can call the to method that helps to load a new web page in the current browser window. Suppose which web page we want to load on this current browser window. Suppose I want to Swag Lab. Let's we open Swag Lab. Swag Lab web page. Let's copy this URL. Let's we copy this URL. Go to the to method. Now pass this URL. Now let's remove this line as of now and just check here first. So you can check here. Suppose first step we are creating a web driver for a Edge browser. Then we are loading a new web page in the current browser window. Then we are retrieving the current title of a web page. Then we are load a new web page in the current browser window. It means we are navigating from one page to another page. So it means we want to navigate from google.com to saucerdemo.com. Okay, if you want to retrieve a new title of the page, yes, no, what is the title of the page? So you can retrieve again the title of the web page. So let's, if you want to console, now you can console system.out.println actual title equal plus actual title value. Now copy this line. Again, we are printing the title value. Let's save it. Now run it. So run as and test and test. Now launch a browser and check it. Now you can check it from google.com page, which page is navigating. We are navigating Swag Lab. Okay, let's here, before closing the browser, let's we comment this line and again run this program and check the behavior of the program. If you run it, now you can check it. First, it will launch a browser. Then in this browser, it will load google.com. Google.com is loaded. Now we are navigating from google.com to which web page? saucerdemo.com. So we can perform navigation activity also. So these operations we are performing automated. So here, first of all, navigation command, yes, no, we are using two. Which command? To command. So using to command, we can load a new web page in the current browser window. We can pass URL as a parameter to the to method. It will load that a new web page in the current browser window. So this is just Selenium WebDriver. And here we have seen how we can handle a browser using Selenium WebDriver, how we can load a web page in the current browser window, as well as how we can perform navigation activity also. So now you can check here. So here we have load which web page? Google.com. From google.com, we are navigating to the saucerdemo.com. Let's we create new class and understand more navigation activity also. Suppose from google.com, we are navigating saucerdemo.com. Now, my requirements, we want to navigate back again google.com. So we want to move back one step in the browser history stack. So if you want to move back one step in the browser history stack, so on WebDriver, you can check it. You can call navigate method, which return navigation object. Now navigation object has one method, that is a back method. So back method, what does, guys? It helps to move back a single item in the browser history. So you can, if you want to move back a single item into the browser history, then you can use back method. Let's now again we run this and check the behavior of the applications. Now here we have run this test case. Now you can check here. It will started the browser. It will launch the browser. Google.com is loaded. Now we are navigating Swag Lab, and then from Swag Lab we are navigating backward to google.com. If again we want to move forward into Swag Lab, then so you can perform forward steps also. So let's check here. Here, if you want to move forward on WebDriver, you can check here. You can call the navigate method. There is a forward mechanism. So forward method, what does actually of navigation object? It allows to move a single item forward in the browser history. If you want to move a single item forward in the browser history, then you can use forward method. So let's save it once again and launch your browser once again. Check here, run as test ng test. Now again, it's launching a browser, and now you can check first it load google.com. From google.com, it moved to the Swag Lab. From Swag Lab, again you can check Google, and again forward is the Swag saucerdemo.com. So using navigation object, we can perform navigation activity also. How you can create navigation object? Using WebDriver. WebDriver, on WebDriver, you need to call navigation method. Once you call the navigation method, it will return navigation object. On navigation, if you want to move from one page to another page, then you can use to method. If you want to move backward one step, so you can call navigate, method name is a navigate, not navigation, navigate dot back. Back method helps to move one step back in the browser history. So WebDriver dot forward. Now we are using forward method. Forward method. If you want to navigate forward, so on WebDriver first we need to call navigate, and then dot we need to call forward. So it allowed to move forward in the browser history. If you want to move single item forward in the browser history, then you can use forward method. If you want to refresh a web page, then if you want to refresh a current web page, suppose if you want to refresh a current web page, so on WebDriver you can check here. You on WebDriver dot navigate dot refresh method. So refresh method actually helps of the navigation object to refresh the current web page. If you want to refresh the current web page, then you can use WebDriver.navigate.refresh. So these are navigation activities. So using WebDriver, you can control the browser, you can launch the browser. On that browser, you can load a web page, any web page, and along with if you want to perform navigation activity, you can perform navigation activity using the navigation command of the Selenium WebDriver. So Selenium WebDriver provides one navigation command. Using the navigation command, we can perform navigation activity. So navigation command in Selenium WebDriver perform operation that involving navigating through web pages and controlling browser behavior. So I hope it's clear how we can use Selenium WebDriver for launching a browser, loading a web page, and how we can handle navigation activity also in Selenium WebDriver. I hope it's clear. Thank you so much.